It beat D&D in Japan and inspired a media empire. And now this Dungeons & Dragons meets Gundam TTRPG is coming to the rest of the world.
Here it comes.
Before we dive into the story of the second true D&D killer over in Japan making its way to Kickstarter, why not take a second to hit those like and subscribe buttons? Even just clicking that like button makes a huge difference, and we really appreciate it. And then, let's talk Where's Blade. D&D has long struggled for relevance in the Japanese TTRPG scene, and we've already talked about how it could have literally bought Sword World, the TTRPG that would go on to outsell it in Japan by an order of magnitude for the next 3 decades, and just decided not to. But right as Sword World launched, another TTRPG debuted in Japan that combined some of that advanced D&D crunch with a new D10 based system, new stats, and most Japanese of all, big-ass mechs. That game was called Where's Blade, and it went on to inspire a vast media empire in Japan, including some truly classic anime like Visions of Escaflowne, which is also known for having one of the all-time bangers of an opening theme. While both games dominated D&D in sales, Where's Blade managed to do something that D&D is still struggling with over in America, and that is becoming relevant in other forms of media. Where's Blade spawned hugely popular audio dramas, video games, anime, novels, manga, and more in a way that made it a huge part of that nerd culture in 90s Japan. As time went on, Where's Blade, the TTRPG, with its incredibly crunchy system that often involved a lot of calculation of various stats and abilities together to make simple rolls, slowly faded out of the scene, but lived on as those novels and dramas and manga and more, and its brand of fantasy, mech, and magic is still influencing Japanese culture today. And now, this OG D&D killer is making its way to the rest of the world in a brand new Kickstarter from publisher Lionwing that is already closing in on the $100,000 mark. The big thing that set Where's Blade apart from D&D and Sword World is its huge focus on mechs, called Ryude in the world of Where's Blade, the types of which vastly outnumber the 4 measly classes for your character that the game starts with. That's right, well, you can only be a warrior, a wordcaster, aka a magic user, a spiritualist, basically a cleric and a monk hybrid, or a tradesfolk, which is actually kind of a cool class where you pick one of many professions like doctor or merchant and level it up by basically engaging in your career. The game doesn't really open up and become incredibly crunchy until you start picking your mech. There are a crazy number of mechs you can choose from, each with different strengths and abilities, and they basically allow you to change the scope of combat by hopping into the cockpit. While you may fight some bandits or minor monsters as your regular class, and to be fair, each of the 4 classes has some distinct and powerful abilities you'll want to try out, the second a dragon or another mech or a large monster hits the scene, it's time to up the stakes and hop inside your Ryude and start some brutal mech combat. Combat in a mech can be amazing or terrifying based on how you roll, with there being multiple ways you can either cleave your foe in half or nearly blow up your own mech on almost every roll, with a convoluted series of tables and charts to consult. But if you love some crunch in your combat, Where's Blade will not leave you disappointed. And if you are curious as to how the game truly plays, Lionwing has just put up an actual play showing their staff running through the game, so you can get a better feel of the Where's Blade playstyle before you decide to back it. So if mecha, magic, and big amounts of crunch sounds like your perfect kind of game, or if you're a Lancer TTRPG fan who wants to see what the OG version of that game was like, you can check out the Where's Blade Kickstarter right now and decide if the world of Where's Blade is the next TTRPG for you and your playgroup. So what do you think? Are you down to try your hand at pitting mechs against magic? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit those like and subscribe buttons.